The old records of the Immortality Peach Tree would surely remember this day as a spectacle of deception and bloodshed. Chu Feng turned Zhao Yu into his unwilling puppet, allowing the crowd to punish him for crimes he never committed, only for Xian Yuyin's uncle to arrive with murderous intent and discover that the young cultivator before him was far stronger than expected. Now, with Imperial Armaments facing each other, the next clash may decide far more than a single grudge. The tea house keeper had barely finished arguing with a wandering swordsman about who had the better battle story when news from the seventh path arrived and sent everyone laughing in disbelief. Pull up a seat, daoists, because Chu Feng has apparently decided that ordinary victories are too dull. Tonight's tale brings puppets, immortality peaches, furious old monsters, and one very unfortunate uncle who may have picked the wrong opponent. Zhao Yu stared at the enormous immortality peach in Chu Feng's hands, and for several breaths he could not trust his own eyes. Only moments earlier, he had intended to send Chu Feng to his death. Yet now, instead of revenge, Chu Feng appeared to be offering him a treasure that countless cultivators would struggle desperately to obtain.
Chu Feng, you.
Chu Feng merely smiled, his expression bright and seemingly without hostility.
Go ahead, take it.
The instant Zhao Yu accepted the immortality peach, his expression changed completely. Emotion surged across his face, and his eyes even began to moisten. To anyone watching, he would have looked like a man overwhelmed by gratitude.
Thank you! Chu Feng. From this day onward, I will follow you. Whatever you command, I will obey. I will never oppose you again. That old bastard Yu Ling cannot distinguish good from bad. If you wish it, I will even help you kill him.
His words sounded sincere. His face looked sincere. Even the emotion in his eyes seemed sincere. But beneath that performance, Zhao Yu's heart was colder than winter steel. Inside, he was sneering. Chu Feng, in his judgment, was still too inexperienced. Zhao Yu believed his desperate act had succeeded, that the young man before him had swallowed every lie without suspicion. In Zhao Yu's mind, there was only one conclusion. Once he escaped this situation, Chu Feng would eventually pay with his life. But Zhao Yu had made a fatal mistake in judgment. He thought mercy meant gullibility. He thought a smile meant trust. Against an ordinary young cultivator, such deception might have worked. Against Chu Feng, who had survived schemes, betrayals, and traps across the martial world, that assumption was dangerously naive. Without warning, Chu Feng's sleeve swept through the air again and again. World spirit power erupted around Zhao Yu like countless invisible cords. Layer after layer wrapped around him, binding his cultivation, sealing his limbs, and locking his entire body in place before he could react.
Chu Feng! What are you doing?
The joy vanished from Zhao Yu's face. Alarm replaced it instantly. His power had been restricted, his movements had been taken away, and an ominous unease began crawling through his heart. Was Chu Feng not planning to spare him? Had his deception failed? If Chu Feng had truly believed his oath, then why was he being sealed like a prisoner? While those questions collided inside Zhao Yu's mind, Chu Feng continued forming spirit formations with calm precision. The restraints became increasingly complete. Soon Zhao Yu could not move even a finger. Then even his ability to speak disappeared. More terrifying still, Chu Feng concealed those formations within Zhao Yu's body with astonishing subtlety. From the outside, nothing looked wrong. The bindings were hidden so perfectly that an ordinary observer would never realize Zhao Yu had already fallen completely under Chu Feng's control. This was where Chu Feng's strength as a world spiritist became more dangerous than simple martial power. A cultivator could prepare for a fist, a blade, or an overwhelming aura. But a formation hidden inside the body was another matter entirely. Zhao Yu had not merely been defeated. He had been turned into a piece on Chu Feng's board without anyone else being able to see the strings. Chu Feng offered him no explanation. He simply lifted Zhao Yu, carried him beneath the Immortality Peach Tree, and placed him there in a seated position. The enormous Immortality Peach remained firmly in Zhao Yu's hand, making the scene appear strangely natural. Then Chu Feng turned away from him entirely. His true priority was elsewhere. A killing formation already existed in this place, and Chu Feng needed to prepare for the possibility that it might activate. Because he did not know its exact power, he refused to gamble with even the smallest weakness in his preparations. He began constructing two enormous layers of spirit formations. The first was defensive. If the killing formation erupted, this layer would endure its assault and preserve the lives of those caught within the danger zone at the crucial moment. The second formation had an even more ambitious purpose. It was designed to destroy the killing formation itself. Naturally, a formation capable of breaking another great formation demanded far more time, far greater precision, and an enormous amount of world spirit power. Chu Feng's decision reveals how seriously he viewed the threat. One formation was insurance against disaster. The other was a counterattack against the disaster itself. He was not preparing merely to survive. He was preparing for the worst possible outcome while simultaneously creating a path to eliminate its source. Fortunately, Chu Feng possessed resources few world spiritists could casually spend. From the Beast Emperor's treasures, he had obtained a small mountain's worth of Dragon Mark World Spirit Stones. Those stones, combined with numerous rare treasures, became the foundation of his work. One after another, precious materials were consumed as the formations took shape beneath his control. With such resources assisting him, Chu Feng greatly reduced the time that would normally have been required. After a long period of relentless work, both great spirit formations were finally completed. Yet completion alone was not enough. Chu Feng concealed them with the same terrifying care he had used on Zhao Yu. Their presence vanished into the surroundings so flawlessly that only a Dragon Mark Royal Cloak World Spiritist conducting a careful inspection would have any hope of discovering them. To the naked eye, the area appeared untouched.
Finally finished.
Chu Feng wiped the sweat from his forehead. His clothing was soaked through, his complexion had become pale, and his lips were dry. The effort had drained him to the edge. The cost had been staggering. Vast quantities of Dragon Mark World Spirit Stones and rare treasures had been consumed, while Chu Feng's own world spirit energy had been almost completely exhausted. Yet he had never considered holding back. Those formations were not merely intended to protect the people who would soon enter this place. Their success could affect living beings throughout the holy land of martialism. That scale changes the meaning of Chu Feng's exhaustion. This was not reckless overexertion for pride or personal gain. He was spending nearly everything because failure carried consequences far beyond himself. When the lives of countless others might depend on a formation, leaving even a fraction of one's strength unused could become an unforgivable mistake. Only after completing those preparations did Chu Feng turn his attention back toward Zhao Yu. A strange light flashed through Chu Feng's eyes. Then, without Zhao Yu willing it, his own hands suddenly rose. Pa! Exclamation pa! His palms struck his own aged cheeks twice. Panic exploded inside Zhao Yu. He had not commanded his arms to move. He had not chosen to strike himself. Yet his body had obeyed some other will. Chu Feng watched him with narrowed eyes, amusement flickering within them.
Stop wondering. I did that. With a single thought, I can control your body.
Zhao Yu's heart tightened violently. Only now did he begin to comprehend how terrifying Chu Feng's world spirit techniques actually were. To suppress him was one thing. To manipulate his body through thought alone was something entirely different.
You desperately want to know what I'm doing, don't you?
Zhao Yu could not answer. His eyes alone followed Chu Feng, filled now with helplessness, fear, and a desperate uncertainty. If his gaze could have spoken, it would have begged Chu Feng to stop whatever game he was playing and simply spare him. Chu Feng answered that silent plea with a faint smile.
Don't be impatient. Just a little longer.
Chu Feng resumed forming Spirit Seal. This time, he created 2 interconnected formations. When the work was completed, each formation condensed into a separate body of light, bound to the other through an unseen connection. Chu Feng pressed the first body of light into the region of his own heart. The second was sent into Zhao Yu, settling around his mouth and throat. Chu Feng's fingers shifted through the final hand seal.
Fuse.
The formation merged completely with Zhao Yu's mouth and throat.
You want to know what I intend to define? I'll demonstrate it.
Then something deeply unsettling happened. Chu Feng's lips did not move. Zhao Yu's did.
Zhao Yu is an old bastard.
Cold sweat immediately covered Zhao Yu. The words had originated from Chu Feng's will, yet they had emerged from Zhao Yu's mouth in Zhao Yu's own voice. At last, the horrifying possibilities became clear. Chu Feng had achieved more than bodily control. He could now make Zhao Yu move, speak, and appear to act entirely of his own free will. From an outsider's perspective, every gesture and every sentence would belong to Zhao Yu. Chu Feng had transformed him into a living disguise for another person's intentions. Zhao Yu's fear deepened. If Chu Feng used his body to insult or provoke powerful people, everyone would naturally believe Zhao Yu himself was responsible. He understood that disaster was approaching. What he did not understand was the true scale of that disaster. Chu Feng was still not finished. After testing his control over Zhao Yu, Chu Feng began disguising himself. Before long, the confident young world spiritist had seemingly vanished. In his place appeared a badly battered captive, covered in signs of struggle and bound by a special rope. Chu Feng then lay beneath Zhao Yu's feet. To Zhao Yu, the scene became even more incomprehensible. He sat beneath the Immortality Peach Tree, holding the enormous peach like a victor displaying his prize. At his feet lay Chu Feng, disguised as an injured prisoner. Yet Zhao Yu himself could neither move nor speak unless Chu Feng allowed it. Inside, Zhao Yu could only rage and wonder what sort of madness Chu Feng was preparing. Why place the Immortality Peach in his hand? Make him sit beneath the tree, disguise himself as the victim. Then a possibility finally surfaced in Zhao Yu's mind. Perhaps Chu Feng intended to stage a performance. And for once, Zhao Yu's instincts were partially correct. Every hidden formation, every restrained movement, every detail of Chu Feng's disguise, and even the Immortality Peach in Zhao Yu's hand had been arranged like pieces of scenery before a curtain rose. This was no impulsive prank. Chu Feng was preparing an elaborate trap in which appearances themselves would become weapons. But Zhao Yu still underestimated one thing. He imagined Chu Feng was preparing a show for one particular observer. Judging from the scale of Chu Feng's preparations, that conclusion was far too small. The stage had already been built, the actors had already been placed, and Zhao Yu himself had unknowingly been assigned the most dangerous role. Chu Feng was not preparing an ordinary performance for a single person. He was preparing a great show for everyone. The instant the sealed gate thundered open, the stillness of the ancient region shattered. Several million cultivators surged through like a vast human tide, their auras overlapping until the very air seemed to tremble beneath the pressure. At the sight of them, Zhao Yu's heart leapt with joy. These were not merely the cultivators from the first group. The second group had arrived. The third group had arrived as well. Somehow, everyone had entered this region at the same time. Why the groups had converged here together remained unknown, but one fact was undeniable. The peak experts of the 3 palaces, 4 clans, 9 powers, and numerous monstrous beast races were now gathered in one place. The overall strength of this enormous gathering was even more terrifying than that of the first group. There was not a single martial lord among them. The weakest cultivators present were martial kings. For Zhao Yu, however, none of those numbers mattered as much as one detail. The people standing at the very front belonged to the Heavenly Law Palace. In his eyes, salvation had finally arrived. Inside his mind, Zhao Yu roared desperately for help. He wanted to expose Chu Feng, wanted to tell everyone that the youth before him intended to take his life. Yet no sound emerged. Only then did Zhao Yu notice the stunned expressions spreading through the crowd. Only then did he understand just how terrifying his situation had become. His body no longer obeyed him. Worse still, Zhao Yu appeared completely unharmed, while Chu Feng lay before him looking like the victim of a brutal beating. And the Immortality Peach Tree behind them had already been stripped of every ripe fruit. Chu Feng had taken them all except for one. That single ripe Immortality Peach was now resting in Zhao Yu's hand. The arrangement was viciously simple. Zhao Yu knew what had really happened, but the millions who had just arrived knew nothing. To them, the evidence told only one story. Zhao Yu had captured Chu Feng, injured him, and monopolized the precious peaches. In their eyes, Zhao Yu was the man who had bound Chu Feng. He was the man who had plucked the Immortality Peaches. Every crime had been placed neatly onto his shoulders. And the cruelest part was that Zhao Yu could not even defend himself. His mouth, his voice, his movements, none belonged to him anymore. A coldness spread through Zhao Yu's heart as the final piece fell into place. Chu Feng did not intend to kill Zhao Yu with his own hands. He intended to borrow the blades of everyone present and let Zhao Yu die beneath the judgment of the martial world itself. Confusion quickly rippled through the newly arrived crowd as countless gazes locked onto the strange scene before them.
Isn't that Elder Zhao Yu and little friend Chu Feng? Why is little friend Chu Feng tied up and why is he so badly injured? Did Elder Zhao Yu do this?
Then someone noticed the fruit in Zhao Yu's hand and the ancient peach tree behind him.
Everyone, look! Exclamation! What is Elder Zhao Yu holding and that peach tree behind him? Heavens! Exclamation! That is the legendary Immortality Peach! Exclamation! A fruit capable of increasing one's lifespan by 100 years! Exclamation! The legend was true.
Excitement immediately erupted. Yet that excitement lasted only moments before suspicion began to replace it.
Wait. Why is the peach in Elder Zhao Yu's hand the only large one? Is his the only fruit that appears fully ripe? I heard that only ripe Immortality Peaches can be eaten. Could Zhao Yu have taken every ripe fruit for himself?
The gathering exploded into uproar. 2 astonishing sights stood before millions of witnesses. First, Zhao Yu, a management elder of the Grand Heavenly Law Palace, appeared to have captured Chu Feng and beaten him into a miserable condition. Had Zhao Yu not declared that he would accompany Chu Feng along the 7th path and protect him, then was Chu Feng bound beneath his feet? Why did the supposed protector now resemble the attacker? In the martial world, reputation can take decades to build and only a heartbeat to destroy. The very kindness that Zhao Yu had displayed earlier now became evidence against him, because the contradiction between his words and the scene before everyone made his apparent betrayal seem even more convincing. Suspicion spread rapidly. Perhaps Zhao Yu's charitable appearance had always been a disguise. Perhaps he had followed Chu Feng with malicious intentions from the very beginning. Perhaps the respected elder was nothing more than a hypocrite. Then there was the Immortality Peach Tree. The tree stood plainly before them, yet every ripe fruit had vanished. Zhao Yu had arrived here first, and one perfectly ripe peach remained in his hand. To the crowd, that peach was not merely a treasure. It was evidence. Chu Feng had chosen his stage perfectly. One accusation involved loyalty and righteousness. The other involved a treasure capable of extending life by 100 years. Together, they struck both morality and greed, the two forces most capable of turning an enormous crowd against a single man. Before Zhao Yu could speak a single word in his own defense, resentment had already surrounded him from every direction. The first person from the Heavenly Law Palace to confront him was Elder Yu Ling.
Elder Zhao Yu, what are you doing?
Yu Ling was no fool. One glance was enough for him to understand how disastrous the situation had become. What he could not understand was why Zhao Yu, normally a calculating man, would commit acts this foolish in full view of everyone. If Zhao Yu truly wanted Chu Feng dead, then such a thing should have been handled in secret. Why display Chu Feng before millions, as though openly trampling upon him? If Zhao Yu truly intended to monopolize the Immortality Peaches, then he should have gathered them quietly and departed. Why remain beside the empty tree while holding a ripe fruit like a trophy? From Yu Ling's perspective, Zhao Yu's actions made no strategic sense. A man capable of becoming a management elder should understand secrecy, consequences, and political appearances. That contradiction should have been suspicious, but with millions already reacting emotionally, reason was rapidly losing ground. Then, without warning, Zhao Yu threw back his head and burst into wild laughter. Yet within his heart, Zhao Yu was not laughing at all. He was screaming. That laughter was not his. Chu Feng was controlling him completely, turning Zhao Yu into a living puppet and forcing him to perform before the entire gathering. Zhao Yu could neither resist nor explain. He could only watch as Chu Feng dragged his reputation deeper into the abyss. Only now did Zhao Yu fully grasp Chu Feng's ruthlessness. Chu Feng had never intended to simply defeat him. Physical death alone would have been too straightforward. Instead, Zhao Yu was being stripped first of credibility, then allies, and finally any chance of survival. If this performance continued, someone in the crowd would eventually strike him down. And Chu Feng would never need to deliver the killing blow himself. At that moment, Elder Huang Guang of the Underworld Palace could no longer tolerate what he was seeing.
Zhao Yu, what are you laughing about? Release little friend, Chu Feng, immediately.
The crowd instantly echoed him, their scattered outrage becoming one enormous voice.
Release Chu Feng immediately.
Then Zhao Yu's mouth moved again, and Chu Feng drove the trap one step further.
A bunch of ignorant fools actually want me to release this little bastard. What makes any of you qualified to speak to me in such a manner?
Shock swept across the gathering. No one had expected Zhao Yu to respond like this. Not only did those words seem to admit responsibility for Chu Feng's condition, they also insulted every expert present. The trap had now crossed a critical threshold. Suspicion could still be questioned, but an open insult turned uncertainty into personal hostility. Chu Feng was no longer merely making Zhao Yu look guilty. He was provoking the entire crowd into wanting Zhao Yu punished. Among the furious cultivators, Wang Qiang pushed his way forward. His speech remained broken by his familiar stutter, but there was nothing uncertain about the rage on his face.
You damned old fool! Release Chu Feng immediately, or I'll kill you.
Wang Qiang was genuinely furious. Even Chu Feng, lying beneath Zhao Yu, could clearly sense the intensity of that anger. Wang Qiang had been completely deceived by the scene. That did not mean Wang Qiang was foolish. It meant Chu Feng's performance had accounted for every visible detail. The injuries, the bindings, the treasure, Zhao Yu's silence, and now even Zhao Yu's apparent arrogance. The lie worked because every piece reinforced the next. Zhao Yu's expression remained cold as his controlled body faced Wang Qiang.
Another little bastard. Do you also wish to die?
Again, those words did not come from Zhao Yu's will. Chu Feng, still lying beneath him, was the true speaker behind the puppet. Elder Yu Ling stepped in once more.
Elder Zhao Yu, what are you doing? Quickly release little friend, Chu Feng.
Yu Ling himself disliked Chu Feng. He too wished to see Chu Feng eliminated. But Yu Ling understood one fundamental rule. Such matters had to be handled in darkness, beyond witnesses and beyond consequences. If Zhao Yu continued behaving like this in front of millions, his reputation would be destroyed completely. Worse, the enraged crowd might attack him together and kill him on the spot. And Zhao Yu was not an isolated rogue cultivator. He was a management elder of the Heavenly Law Palace. Therefore, Yu Ling was not merely trying to save Zhao Yu. He was trying to stop Zhao Yu's apparent madness from dragging the reputation of the entire Heavenly Law Palace into the disaster with him. At this level, one elder's mistake could become a faction's humiliation. But Chu Feng had no intention of allowing Yu Ling to repair the situation. Zhao Yu's mouth opened once more.
Yu Ling, you old fool. Since when were you qualified to order me around? Although we are both management elders of the Heavenly Law Palace, in my eyes, you are nothing more than a dog I can toy with however I please.
For an instant, even Yu Ling was stunned. His attempt to rescue the situation had been repaid with humiliation before countless experts.
Zhao Yu, what did you say that again?
At this point, Chu Feng's borrowed blade scheme was no longer merely framing Zhao Yu. It was forcing Zhao Yu to sever his own remaining lifelines one by one. First the crowd, then Wang Qiang, and now even a fellow management elder of the Heavenly Law Palace had been pushed toward open hostility. And if Chu Feng could continue controlling the rhythm of this confrontation, Zhao Yu's greatest danger would no longer be Chu Feng lying beneath him. It would be the millions of furious cultivators standing all around him. The tension beneath the Immortality Peach Tree had already reached a breaking point, yet Zhao Yu seemed determined to drive Elder Yu Ling beyond it.
I already said it. You are nothing more than a dog.
Elder Yu Ling froze where he stood. His finger trembled as he pointed at Zhao Yu, fury surging so violently through him that words refused to come.
You.
Zhao Yu, however, behaved as though Yu Ling's rage meant nothing.
Forget it. No matter what, we are both elders of the Heavenly Law Palace. I'll give you, this dog, some consideration, and spare that little bastard Chu Feng.
With that, Zhao Yu suddenly rose, seized Chu Feng, and hurled him toward Wang Qiang. Wang Qiang caught him at once. Without hesitation, he untied the rope binding Chu Feng, removed the cloth covering his mouth, and even produced an extremely precious medicinal pellet to treat his injuries. Chu Feng had never expected that, when the situation truly became dangerous, Wang Qiang would prove this dependable. Yet Wang Qiang was not the only one to step forward. Elder Huang Guan and numerous elders of the Underworld Palace produced healing pellets. The four great imperial clans' utmost exalted elders followed. Experts of the 9 powers, elders of various monstrous beast races, and even several powerful figures unknown to Chu Feng offered medicines of their own. That single scene revealed something cultivation alone could not measure. Chu Feng had made enemies across the holy land of martialism, but he had also forged genuine bonds. Some people might merely have been displaying goodwill because the crowd was watching. Yet figures like Elder Huang Guan, the Nangong imperial clan's utmost exalted elders, and experts of the Nine Powers were clearly worried about him from the heart. In the martial world, connections formed through life and death struggles could sometimes become another kind of strength.
Everyone, there's no need. My injuries aren't that serious. I don't need healing pellets.
He spoke bravely, yet blood continued to flow from the corner of his mouth. Naturally, that weakness was part of the performance Chu Feng intended everyone to see.
Lolo, look at why your appearance! Stop trying to show off.
Ignoring Chu Feng's refusal, Wang Qiang practically forced the precious medicinal pellet on him.
Little friend, Chu Feng, your injuries are clearly serious. This medicine can help you. Take it quickly.
The others also pressed their medicinal pellets into Chu Feng's hands. Chu Feng accepted them with gratitude before turning his gaze back toward Zhao Yu, who still stood beneath the ancient tree. Then Chu Feng's expression hardened.
Zhao Yu! I once regarded you as my senior. Never did I imagine you would be so despicable. You actually poisoned the water! Did you not even possess the courage to face me directly?
Zhao Yu suddenly burst into loud laughter, his expression filled with disdain.
Ha ha ha! A great man must know how to be ruthless. That is what tricks are for. Chu Feng, you are still far too inexperienced. Take your time and learn from me.
The crowd stared at him in disbelief. Their surprise quickly hardened into anger. They had already witnessed Zhao Yu attacking Chu Feng, but now Zhao Yu had apparently admitted to using poison as well. In a matter of moments, the impression everyone held of Zhao Yu collapsed completely. Schemes existed everywhere in the martial world, but openly boasting about poisoning a junior was enough to disgust even hardened cultivators. But the most terrifying part was something none of them understood. Zhao Yu had never chosen those words. From his movements to his insults, every action was being directed by Chu Feng. Chu Feng was no longer merely defeating an enemy with cultivation. He was using Zhao Yu himself as the weapon that would destroy Zhao Yu's reputation, alliances, and chances of survival. Curiosity immediately erupted among the surrounding experts.
Little friend, Chu Feng, what exactly happened? Why did Zhao Yu attack you? How did the two of you reach this place, and what happened to all the ripe Immortality Peaches?
Chu Feng began to recount what had supposedly happened. He explained that he and Elder Zhao Yu had entered the seventh path together. Zhao Yu had ordered him to walk in front, forcing Chu Feng to lead the way. Along that path, they unexpectedly discovered a treasure map. Even more astonishingly, the map led directly to the Immortality Peach Tree. According to Chu Feng's account, he had been delighted and had willingly agreed to divide the Immortality Peaches with Zhao Yu. But greed, he claimed, had consumed the elder. Chu Feng told them that Zhao Yu had secretly poisoned his water. Once the poison made him dizzy and powerless, Zhao Yu seized the treasure map, bound him, and even beat him. Then, after reaching the Immortality Peach Tree and discovering more than 1,000 ripe fruits, Zhao Yu supposedly chose not to kill Chu Feng. Instead, simply to torment him, he plucked the ripe peaches before Chu Feng's eyes and devoured them one after another. The reaction was immediate.
What you are saying, Zhao Yu ate every ripe Immortality Peach?
Several ancient experts, whose lifespans were already nearing their limits, glared at Zhao Yu with terrifying fury. Their eyes seemed ready to burn holes through him. They had not entered this dangerous place seeking ordinary treasures. Their purpose had always been the legendary Immortality Peaches, the fruits capable of extending their remaining years. They had finally found the Immortality Peach Tree, only to discover that every ripe fruit capable of prolonging life had apparently entered Zhao Yu's stomach. For cultivators approaching the end of their lifespan, those peaches were not luxuries. They represented time itself. Another year might mean one more breakthrough, one more chance to settle unfinished matters, perhaps even another opportunity to defy death. By claiming Zhao Yu had consumed them all, Chu Feng struck directly at the crowd's deepest desperation.
That's right. Zhao Yu ate all of the Immortality Peaches.
Inside, the real Zhao Yu was practically crying from injustice. Every ripe Immortality Peach had actually been plucked and stored away by Chu Feng. Zhao Yu himself still held a single peach and had not even managed to take one bite. Yet he could not explain anything. His own body betrayed him. Instead of looking wronged or terrified, his face carried an infuriatingly smug smile. That smile only made the surrounding experts want to tear him apart. Then someone suddenly remembered an important detail.
But wasn't it said that a person could only eat 10 Immortality Peaches, wouldn't? Eating more than 10 caused death.
That legend was indeed widely known. Chu Feng answered without hesitation.
The map we obtained on the 7th path did more than lead us here. It also explained that if the map were dissolved in water and drunk, one could consume as many Immortality Peaches as desired. The peaches would increase lifespan without causing death from excessive consumption. However, eating too many still seems to have side effects. Everyone, just look at Zhao Yu. His current state must be the consequence of eating more than 1,000 Immortality Peaches.
It was an exceptionally vicious explanation, because it transformed every unnatural thing Zhao Yu did into further evidence against him. His laughter, arrogance, insult, and reckless behavior no longer looked suspicious. To the crowd, they now appeared to be symptoms. Chu Feng had built a lie that explained its own contradictions. As if cooperating perfectly with Chu Feng's accusation, Zhao Yu suddenly threw back his head and laughed.
Wahahaha! Exclamation, a bunch of ants actually dare stare at my Immortality Peach.
Then, before everyone's furious eyes, Zhao Yu lifted the peach in his hand and took a bite. For one elderly expert, that was the final spark.
That peach is mine.
His aura erupted violently as he shot toward Zhao Yu. The pressure revealed his cultivation, clearly a rank 5 martial emperor.
The Immortality Peach is mine.
That single charge shattered the crowd's restraint. Powerful experts surged forward from every direction. Some rushed toward the Immortality Peach Tree, hoping to pluck even the unripened fruits. Others went straight for the peach in Zhao Yu's hand.
A group of ants dares to snatch my Immortality Peach. Watch me crush every one of you.
Zhao Yu even made a provocative gesture toward the incoming experts. But behind that arrogant display lay a cruel reality. Zhao Yu currently possessed no strength with which to defend himself. He was powerless. The scramble erupted around him. Zhao Yu instantly lost the Immortality Peach, and in the chaos a heavy fist smashed into his face. The blow sent him flying several meters. Blood ran from his nose, and 3 teeth were knocked loose. Yet Zhao Yu immediately climbed back up.
You dare hit me? Watch as I kill you.
He charged directly back into the crowd. Of course, Zhao Yu himself wanted nothing of the sort. Every reckless step was still being controlled by Chu Feng. Deep inside his own trapped body, Zhao Yu could only despair. By now, he understood exactly where this was heading. He knew Chu Feng was not simply trying to defeat him. Chu Feng was arranging the battlefield so that everyone else would do the killing. Zhao Yu's own hands, mouth, and reputation had been turned against him until escape became almost impossible. Soon, another problem appeared. The experts attempting to pluck peaches from the Immortality Peach Tree discovered that the remaining unripened fruits could not be taken. Their gazes immediately returned to Zhao Yu.
Zhao Yu! Exclamation, you consumed more than 1,000 Immortality Peaches. By yourself! Exclamation, your crime is unforgivable. Vomit those peaches back out. That's right! Exclamation, beat him down! Exclamation, He must have hidden more Immortality Peaches on his body. Search him.
Zhao Yu no longer needed to charge into the mob. The mob came to him. Within moments, he vanished beneath a mass of furious experts. And still, under Chu Feng's control, Zhao Yu continued provoking them.
A bunch of ants dares fight over my Immortality Peaches. Watch me suffocate all of you with a fart.
The insult only poured more oil onto the flames. Then, without warning, Chu Feng felt the connection change. He could no longer control Zhao Yu. But Chu Feng showed no panic. Instead, a cold smile slowly appeared on his face. The spirit formation he had placed on Zhao Yu had not failed. There was simply no living Zhao Yu left to control. And that was the true cruelty of Chu Feng's counterattack. Zhao Yu had entered this confrontation as an elder of the Heavenly Law Palace, believing status and strength placed him above Chu Feng. Yet by the end, he had been stripped of control over his own body, turned into the enemy of everyone around him, and destroyed by the very crowd he had been forced to provoke. He had not merely lost. He had been toyed with until death itself became the final move in Chu Feng's scheme. For anyone still underestimating Chu Feng, this scene carried a warning far more dangerous than a simple display of cultivation. Against him, raw strength was not the only battlefield. Reputation, greed, fear, timing, and human nature could all become weapons, and Zhao Yu had just learned that lesson at the cost of his life. The instant Zhao Yu stopped moving, chaos broke apart like a flock of startled birds. Those who had surrounded him only moments earlier scattered in every direction, each person suddenly desperate to put distance between themselves and the fallen elder. Only after the crowd withdrew did everyone finally see the result. Zhao Yu lay motionless on the ground, his clothing torn away during the beating, his face badly swollen, and his entire figure bloodied. The rank 6 martial emperor was dead.
How could this happen? Why did he die?
Fear spread through those who had attacked him. In their minds, they had merely joined the crowd and struck a few blows. Zhao Yu was a rank 6 martial emperor. By ordinary logic, attacks of that level should never have been enough to end his life. But what none of them understood was that Zhao Yu's outward appearance had concealed the truth. His body had already been devastated from within. He had reached a condition where even a rank 1 martial emperor could have pushed him beyond his limit. Against that hidden weakness, the mob's cultivation levels became terrifying. Rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, even rank 6 martial emperors were striking a man whose defenses had already collapsed. His death was not an accident of strength. It was the inevitable result of injuries no one else could see. And among all those shocked faces, only Chu Feng remained calm. A faint, cold smile rested upon his lips. From beginning to end, Zhao Yu had been under Chu Feng's complete control. If Chu Feng had wished it, he could have forced Zhao Yu to end his own life. Yet Chu Feng had deliberately chosen another path. He wanted Zhao Yu to die beneath other people's hands. It was a ruthless but calculating move. If Zhao Yu fell before hundreds of witnesses while being attacked by the crowd, responsibility would no longer point cleanly toward Chu Feng. Better still, the Heavenly Law Palace would suddenly find itself facing a hall full of powerful figures who had all participated. Those who had attacked Zhao Yu were not insignificant wanderers. Many were ancient experts with formidable cultivation and lifespans already nearing their end. Such people possessed little reason to bow their heads simply because a great power threatened them. In the martial world, power is frightening, but a powerful person who no longer fears death can be even more dangerous. Reputation, punishment, retaliation, those threats lose much of their meaning against someone who believes he has little left to lose. Chu Feng had placed the Heavenly Law Palace in precisely that kind of dilemma.
Who was it who killed Elder Zhao Yu of our Heavenly Law Palace?
The furious roar rolled across the gathering. Whatever Zhao Yu had done, he had still been a management elder of the Heavenly Law Palace. Allowing such a figure to be beaten to death before them was an humiliation they could not simply ignore. Yet the strongest Heavenly Law Palace expert present, Elder Yu Ling's, remained silent. Zhao Yu's earlier insults were still lodged in his heart like thorns, and he had no desire to mourn the man who had publicly humiliated him. The bitter irony was that Yu Ling never knew those insulting words had not truly belonged to Zhao Yu at all. They had been spoken through Chu Feng's manipulation. Had Yu Ling learned the truth, his rage would undoubtedly have found an entirely different target, but that truth would remain buried.
HMPH! A greedy man who swallowed more than 1,000 Immortality Peaches deserves no sympathy. Even death cannot erase what he did.
Exactly. Ordinary people can die after consuming merely 10 Immortality Peaches, yet he consumed more than 1,000. Perhaps our attacks did not kill him at all. Perhaps the poison had already finished the job.
We all saw his condition. Arrogant, delirious, completely abnormal. Even if he possessed the map, how could anyone consume so many Immortality Peaches without consequences? Was already poisoned. He was merely waiting for death.
One voice became several, then several became many. Those who had struck Zhao Yu immediately began pushing the cause of death away from themselves and toward his excessive consumption of Immortality Peaches. And their excuse was difficult to challenge. Too many renowned figures had participated. The Heavenly Law Palace could demand an investigation. But whom would they punish on Elderton? Experts, every old monster who had thrown a strike pursuing Zhao Yu's death risked turning a single corpse into a battlefield of new enemies. The Heavenly Law Palace experts exchanged grim looks. For the first time, their anger had nowhere safe to go. Was one dead management elder truly worth offending nearly every great figure gathered here?
Sir, serves him right. His death was well deserved.
Wang Qiang spat aside, completely delighted by Zhao Yu's end.
What did you say?
The Heavenly Law Palace members, already suffocating beneath their frustration, immediately turned furious gazes toward Wang Qiang.
Was he wrong? A man as despicable as Zhao Yu would only continue harming others if he remained alive. Everyone here saw what he did to me. Yet when he acted, your Heavenly Law Palace showed no intention of punishing him. Now that he is dead, you suddenly wish to avenge him. Is this how the famous Heavenly Law Palace carries out justice on behalf of the Heavenspa?
Chu Feng's words turned the blade completely around. In a few sentences, Zhao Yu's death was no longer merely a question of who had killed him. It became a public accusation against the Heavenly Law Palace itself.
Little friend, Chu Feng speaks correctly. We all witnessed Zhao Yu's conduct. Someone like him deserved his fate. If the Heavenly Law Palace refused to discipline him while he lived, yet now seeks revenge after his death, then you have truly disappointed us.
The sentiment spread rapidly through the gathering. Chu Feng already possessed tremendous goodwill among these experts, while Zhao Yu's reputation had been shattered beyond repair. Their anger had been waiting for somewhere to land, and now Chu Feng had given it a name, the Heavenly Law Palace. This was more than verbal retaliation. Chu Feng was exploiting the difference between personal strength and public legitimacy. The Heavenly Law Palace might possess overwhelming power, but attacking the crowd after openly defending Zhao Yu would make them appear exactly as hypocritical as Chu Feng accused them of being. For a great power, reputation could sometimes become another kind of shackle.
You! Exclamation.
The Heavenly Law Palace experts could barely answer. Their fury remained, but so did the undeniable fact that Zhao Yu had placed them in the wrong. Then, without warning, a voice colder than winter cut through the dispute.
Chu Feng, perhaps it was fortunate Zhao Yu failed to kill you. Because this old man will personally take your life.
A boundless wave of killing intent erupted through the gathering. Its pressure rolled outward with such force that the surrounding experts were driven apart, opening a vast empty space around the newcomer. The moment everyone recognized him, expressions changed. People frowned and instinctively retreated, unwilling to stand anywhere near the man who had just appeared. The Heavenly Law Palace members, however, began to smile. The newcomer was an ancient era's elf. More importantly, he was Xian Yuyin's uncle, a rank 6 martial emperor.
Grab.
Wang Qiang had already guessed the ancient era's elf's identity, and panic immediately surfaced across his face. Even the elders of the underworld palace, who had been prepared to support Chu Feng, became uneasy. That reaction revealed the true weight of the ancient era's elves. Against the Heavenly Law Palace, many experts were willing to speak for Chu Feng. Against an ancient era's elf, that courage suddenly collided with a far greater consequence. Even the underworld palace avoided provoking that race without necessity. People might have wanted to help Chu Feng, but wanting to help and daring to act were two very different things.
Today, I will kill Chu Feng. Whoever dares obstruct me will die together with him.
His murderous gaze swept slowly across the crowd. Wherever it passed, experts lowered their eyes or turned away. Not one person chose to meet that threat head-on. Cold smiles appeared among the Heavenly Law Palace's people. Chu Feng had repeatedly forced them into humiliating positions, yet now another power had stepped forward to deal with him in their place. From their perspective, the balance had finally reversed. Chu Feng's popularity could restrain the Heavenly Law Palace, but popularity meant very little if every potential ally feared the ancient era's elves more than they valued Chu Feng's life. For the first time in this confrontation, sheer political weight seemed to have isolated him. Everyone expected fear. Some expected Chu Feng to retreat. Others perhaps wondered whether he possessed any remaining method of escape. Instead, Chu Feng smiled.
I spared your life once. I never expected that instead of treasuring it, you would come here and throw it away yourself. Since you have come, I will not spare you a second time. You can go accompany your disappointing nephew, Xian Yuyin.
The entire atmosphere seemed to freeze. Not only the spectators, even Xian Yuyin's uncle stared at Chu Feng in disbelief. He had entered certain that Chu Feng had nowhere to flee. In his mind, once he appeared, fear should have been inevitable and death merely a matter of time. Yet Chu Feng had not pleaded, retreated, or even shown hesitation. He had answered the killing intent of a rank 6 martial emperor with a declaration of his own.
What did you say that again?
And this was the moment that changed the nature of the confrontation. Until now, everyone had treated Chu Feng as the hunted, but his composure suggested that he saw the situation very differently. Whether that confidence came from strength, preparation, or another hidden card had yet to be revealed, but a man who had already manipulated Zhao Yu's death so precisely was unlikely to speak without calculation. If Xian Yuyin's uncle believed his rank 6 martial emperor cultivation alone had already decided the outcome, Chu Feng's next move was about to test that certainty. In the martial world, the most dangerous opponent is often not the one who shouts the loudest, but the one who remains calm when everyone else believes he should be afraid. Chu Feng looked directly at the enraged ancient era's elf. His smile did not disappear.
I said, I am going to kill you.
The killing intent in Chu Feng's words did not rise like thunder. It did not need to. His voice was calm, almost indifferent, yet that calmness carried a weight that made the surrounding cultivators stiffen where they stood.
I said that I am going to kill you.
The crowd exchanged stunned looks. Many of them had not personally witnessed Xian Yuyin's death, but the story had already spread. After killing Xian Yuyin, Chu Feng had apparently fled before Xian Yuyin's uncle and survived only because the weaponry refinement immortal had intervened. And yet now, standing face to face with that same rank, 6 martial emperor, Chu Feng spoke as though the one who had shown mercy in their previous encounter had been him. To many listeners, that claim sounded almost impossibly arrogant.
Chu Feng, have you lost your mind? You actually dare say such things to me? If the weaponry refinement immortal had not saved you earlier, you would already have died by my hand. And now you claim you will kill me. What qualification do you possess?
Chu Feng did not flinch. The expression on his face remained dismissive, and the look he gave the elder contained not fear, but open disdain.
Whether I am qualified or not, you will know once we fight.
Those words tore through the last restraint in Xian Yuyin's uncle. Rage surged through him, and the dignity of the ancient era's elves became the banner beneath which he released his killing intent.
Bastard exclamation! If I do not tear you apart today, I am unworthy of calling myself an ancient era's elf.
His attack erupted instantly. With a single thought, surging martial power gathered beneath his command and swept toward Chu Feng with earth-shaking momentum. The strike was terrifyingly fast. Apart from the rank 6 martial emperors present, most of the surrounding experts could barely react before the killing pressure descended. Worse still, Chu Feng was not standing alone. Numerous people remained near him, and Xian Yuyin's uncle showed no intention of restraining his attack. If that martial power fell unchecked, Chu Feng would not be its only victim. Elder Wang Guan and several others possessed enough strength to interfere, but opposing an ancient era's elf openly was another matter entirely. They dared not block the strike and could only prepare to protect themselves. This single exchange revealed the imbalance of status surrounding the battle. Strength alone did not decide who was willing to intervene. The prestige of the ancient era's elves was itself a weapon, powerful enough to make capable experts hesitate. Then lightning flashed within Chu Feng's eyes. Thunder armor erupted across his body, and thunder wings unfurled behind him in the same instant.
Disperse!
Chu Feng never moved. He merely released that single shout. Yet the martial power rushing toward him broke apart before reaching his body. Violent energy ripples thundered through the air, raging only a short distance away, unable to advance another step. Blocked. A direct attack from Xian Yuyin's uncle had been stopped by Chu Feng without even forcing him to retreat. Only then did the crowd truly sense Chu Feng's current aura. Rank 4 Martial Emperor. The revelation sent another wave of shock through the gathering. Everyone knew that Chu Feng's thunder armor and thunder wings could raise his cultivation by 2 levels. If he now displayed rank 4 Martial Emperor cultivation, then his true cultivation was no longer rank 1 Martial Emperor. Chu Feng had already reached rank 2 Martial Emperor. But even that discovery could not fully explain what they had just witnessed. A rank 4 Martial Emperor should still have been overwhelmingly disadvantaged against a rank 6 Martial Emperor. Instead, when Chu Feng released his oppressive might, the pressure surrounding him seemed even more frightening than the might of Xian Yuyin's uncle. Elder Wang Guan stared at Chu Feng as an almost unbelievable possibility formed in his mind.
Little friend Chu Feng, could it be that your heaven-defying battle power allows you to overcome 5 levels of cultivation?
Chu Feng answered without hesitation.
That is correct. Senior has guessed rightly. My heaven-defying battle power can overcome 5 levels of cultivation.
The entire gathering was shaken. A battle power capable of overcoming 5 cultivation levels was not merely impressive. Within the understanding of these experts, it bordered on the monstrous. Ordinary martial emperors possessed battle power capable of overcoming 3 levels. Those who could overcome 4 were already spoken of like legends. Chu Feng had stepped beyond even that boundary. His cultivation realm alone could no longer be used to measure his true threat. Even Xian Yuyin's uncle could no longer look at Chu Feng with the same contempt. He was a rank 6 martial emperor whose battle power could overcome 3 levels. Chu Feng, after activating his lightning abilities, stood at rank 4 martial emperor while possessing battle power capable of overcoming 5. On paper, 2 cultivation levels still separated them. In true combat power, however, Chu Feng's heaven-defying advantage erased that gap completely. Their effective battle power had reached the same height. But Xian Yuyin's uncle refused to retreat. His nephew had died by Chu Feng's hand, and pride, hatred, and blood debt all drove him forward.
So that is the source of your arrogance. But you killed my nephew. A blood debt must be repaid with blood.
Another barrage descended upon Chu Feng. Martial powers surged. Techniques crashed against oppressive might. Each attack was fiercer than the last, but no matter how Xian Yuyin's uncle struck, Chu Feng remained unharmed. Every assault was blocked. Every attempt at suppression failed. Eventually, Xian Yuyin's uncle even brought out an incomplete Imperial armament. Yet despite adding the weapon's power to his own cultivation, he still could not gain control of the battle. That was the truly disturbing part. Equal effective battle power should have produced a close contest, but Chu Feng was not merely holding his ground. His control, techniques, and combat ability were pushing the battle decisively in his favor. Then Chu Feng's aura changed. Power gathered around him in a violent succession, and the atmosphere itself seemed to tighten beneath the pressure of the technique about to descend.
Earthen taboo. Vermin slash.
9 slashes erupted in rapid succession. One after another, they drove forward with escalating force until the 9th slash broke through Xian Yuyin's uncle's attack and struck him directly. One of his arms was severed by the attack, and the incomplete Imperial armament he had been holding fell away with it. The spectators could scarcely believe what they had seen. By cultivation calculations alone, Chu Feng's effective battle power should merely have reached the same level as Xian Yuyin's uncle, but the actual fight had revealed something entirely different. Xian Yuyin's uncle had fought with an incomplete Imperial armament. Chu Feng had fought empty-handed. And still, Chu Feng had taken absolute control. This was no longer a question of whether Chu Feng could survive a rank 6 martial emperor. The battle had already answered that. The more frightening question was how far above an ordinary opponent of equivalent battle power Chu Feng truly stood. A furious roar suddenly burst from Xian Yuyin's uncle. It was not merely the shock of his injury that drove the cry from him. It was rage. Before countless witnesses, he had been suppressed by a younger opponent he had once believed beneath him. Then he turned his remaining palm. Heaven and earth trembled. A dazzling golden giant axe appeared in his hand, radiating an overwhelming emperor's might that immediately changed the pressure across the battlefield. It was not an incomplete Imperial armament. It was a true Imperial armament. The instant the golden axe appeared, Xian Yuyin's uncle's aura surged dramatically. The balance shifted, and for the first time since the battle began, his oppressive might started to press down upon Chu Feng's.
Chu Feng, what does your overwhelming battle power matter? Noe possess an Imperial armament. Your life is destined to belong to me.
Until that moment, Xian Yuyin's uncle had deliberately refused to use this weapon. He had already possessed a cultivation advantage, and bringing out a true Imperial armament against Chu Feng would have made any victory appear shameful. But pride had become a luxury he could no longer afford. The severed arm had forced him to accept the truth he had resisted throughout the battle. Without relying on a superior treasure, he was not Chu Feng's match. If he continued holding back for the sake of reputation, the price could be his life. Now that the Imperial armament was finally in his grasp, his lost confidence returned. The pressure he had endured throughout the battle transformed into fierce momentum as Emperor's might rolled outward from the golden axe. Elder Huang Guan and those hoping for Chu Feng's victory immediately frowned. A true Imperial armament could not be compared with an ordinary weapon. When opponents of similar battle power fought, possession of such a treasure could overturn the entire contest. This was the first genuine reversal of the battle. Chu Feng had dominated through superior combat ability, but the Imperial armament introduced an external advantage powerful enough to distort the previous balance. For those supporting him, the danger had suddenly become very real. Meanwhile, the people from the Heavenly Law Palace secretly rejoiced. Earlier, Chu Feng's performance had been so overwhelming that even they had begun to fear he might survive yet again. But with the appearance of the golden Imperial armament, hope returned to their eyes. They wanted Chu Feng dead, and now they believed the opportunity had finally arrived. For a moment, it seemed the entire battle had turned upon a single treasure. Yet Chu Feng's composure had not changed, and after everything he had already revealed, that calmness itself should have been a warning. Chu Feng looked toward the golden axe without the slightest panic.
An Imperial armament.
His palm turned. Silver light flashed through the battlefield. Within that brilliant radiance, the furious coiling dragon beheader appeared in Chu Feng's hand.
You are not the only one who possesses an Imperial armament.